Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry I wasn't able to upload a video last week Saturday. I had issues with my TradingView account, so it was giving me issues, so I could not log into my account and all that. I'm going to run you guys through all the trades I took from last week, which was 6th of October to today's trade. So today is Friday, October 17th. So let me run you guys through all our trades. I'll post the P&L for the week at the end of the video. So if you want to see that, stay tuned to the end of the video. So this is our Monday setup here. That's our last week Monday. That's October 6th. This is our setup here. We mark out our opening range candle. That's our 9:30 candle or 2:30 if you are in Nigeria. And you can see we marked it out and you can see how market came back and respected our opening range. So we set a buy limit here and you can see it triggered our buy limit and immediately went up to our take profit. So our Tuesday setup was a loss. So this was our Tuesday setup here. This was our opening range candle. We marked out the high and the low. We had the break above. I entered for the buy, stops at the low, and you can see we immediately got stopped out. That one ended up in a loss. This trade is from the previous day high. So like the previous day of Wednesday. This was the previous day of Wednesday. So we broke out of the previous day high and we came back for a retest. And you can see we closed with a bullish engulfing. So I entered this trade, stops at the low, and you can see we hit a 1 to 3. That's trade from. So I'm trying a new strategy where I wait for gold to break either above or below previous day high or low. Then if it breaks above, I buy. If it breaks below, I sell. But it's better you always wait for a retest. If you are trading that strategy, the breakout strategy, if you are trading it, you wait for a retest. So that was the setup that gave me this. So our Wednesday setup was a loss. So this is our Wednesday setup. These are our opening range candle here. Mark out the high and the low of our opening range candle. We had the break above. We came back for the retest. We entered our buy, stops at the low, and you can see we immediately got stopped out. So I made a mistake here. I entered double positions. So I was risking about 2k on this trade. I entered double positions. So when it took me out for most of my profits from here, which was a calculation error. I miscalculated my risk and it cost me here. So that was our Wednesday setup. Then our Thursday setup that I would have used to recover. This was our Thursday setup. These are opening range here. We mark out the high and below. We had the break below. We came back for the retest. So this trade now, I did not enter. I set my buy limit. My sell limit. But you can see that the candle just came few pips and it didn't trigger us and immediately it just dropped immediately and went to our take profit. So I missed this trade. I wasn't triggered. It came so close, then went to the take profit. So that's how I missed my recovery trade though. That's how I missed it. That was our Thursday setup. Then our Friday setup. Friday setup was a loss. That's last week Friday. Our setup was a loss. So this is our opening range candle here. This candle, mark out the high and the low. We had a break below. I set my sell limit and you can see merely market just took out our stops immediately. So as at Friday last week, I ended up the week with a loss. I think $1,000 loss or so, 1,500 loss, which means I lost all my profits, all the profit I made that week, which was about $2,000 or $3,000, and ended up with a loss just because of the mistake I made here. So that's what happened though. So I'll post the P&L. If you want to see it, you wait to the end of the video. I'll post the P&L so you guys can see it. So that is for our last week trades. Since I didn't upload the video on Saturday, last week Saturday. So I'm just doing a recap from 6th to 17th of October. So that was for last week. So this week's setup, we started this week. This week was a good week. We made profits this week and we did not lose all our profit this week. Thank God for that. We have our previous week, our previous day high here. This our previous week high. That was, I took this trade from the previous week high. That's previous week's high. Then we broke above our previous week's high. We came back and retested that previous week's high. So I entered for the buy, stops at the low. Our target is a 1 to 2, and you guys can see we hit our targets nicely for that 1 to 2 setup from the previous day high. Break and retest from the previous week's high. Then we now had our normal setup, which is our opening range setup, our 9:30 candle, which is this candle here. We mark out the high and the low. We had the break above. We came back for our retest. We entered for our buy limits, stops at the low. Our target was a 1 to 2, and you can see that the trade gave us a 1 to 3 here, hit our TP clean, and we made our money and we left the market. So that's how our actual Monday's trade went. Then our Tuesday setup. This is our Tuesday setup here. We mark out our opening range candle, our 930 candle, high and low. We had a break above, came back for our retest. We entered for our buy, stops at the low. Our target is a 1 to 2, and you guys can see we hit our take profit nicely right here. Then this setup still on Wednesday. Our first trade on Wednesday was from our previous day high. So we had our previous day high here, and early hours of the morning we broke out of our previous day high, and we had a retest here. So on this retest, I entered for our buy, stops below the low here, and my target was a 1 to 2. So you can see eventually we hit our take profit for our 1 to 2. Then our actual strategy, our setup, our opening range setup, this is our candle here, our 930 candle. We mark out the high and the low, and we had the break above, came back for the retest. So the mistake I made here, the stop loss was too tight. I actually wanted to put my stops below this week here, but for some reason I just put it below the body instead of the wick, and you can see we just got stopped out. Then market went and hit our take profit. So that was a very very bad mistake, and it actually paid me that I lost money on that trade, because that was like my bias was the buy. But throughout this week my bias has been a buy for gold, but because of my tight stop loss I missed out on this trade, and I ended up taking a loss on this trade. Then took it then before this one came and hit my take profit. So that's how our Wednesday setup went. So our Thursday setup, we had two trades. So we had our first trade, which is from our previous day high, which is this high here. So we had a break, we had the initial break, which was this. Then we came back for a retest, which was this deep retracement here. Then we now had this strong bullish engulfing candle. So I entered off this candle here after we closed back above the previous day high. I entered, stops at the low. My target is a 1 to 2, and you guys can see, boom, we smashed our TP. So that's how Thursday's trade went. Then our actual strategy on Thursday, which is our opening range strategy, our 930 candle, we mark our 930 candle high and low. We had a break above, we came back for our retest, we entered for our buy, stops at the low. Our target is a 1 to 2, and you guys can see we smashed our TP, we hit our TP, and that's how we ended our trades on gold. So I did not enter a trade on Friday, because my experience in the past is I always lose my Friday's trade, and because of my experience last week, I didn't want to give back any of my profits. So we closed the week with a $7,000 profit, and I said, okay, I am not giving the market back any of this profit. So I intentionally stayed away from Friday's setup. So this is Friday's setup here. This is our opening range candle, mark out the high and the low. We had a break below, we came back for our retest, we entered for our sell, stops at the high. Our target is a 1 to 2. I didn't take this trade. I didn't want to take it because I didn't want to give back any of the profit I made this week. So this week we closed with a $7,000 profit on gold, and I traded only gold this week. So I'm going to be consistent with posting more videos on gold. I'm just going to focus more on gold. Then maybe if my channel keeps growing and we hit a 1K sub, I will now start showing you my P&L for US30 and Nasdaq. But for now, I'll just restrict the video to only trading gold. So yeah, that's how all my trades went from last week to this week. We closed our last week's trades with a loss, $1,500 loss last week. I gave away all my profits that I made last week, and this week I said I'm not going to give my profits back. I didn't enter Friday's trade, and we closed our week in the green with a $7,000 profit. So guys, thanks for watching. That's how all our trades went this week. If you like this video, please click that bell icon, click that like button, click subscribe to the channel, and please share my videos to more people so that the YouTube algorithm can push my videos to more people like you guys. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.